This is Ryan Dunn. Ryan Dunn was the 28th overall pick in the 2024 NBA draft. In college, he attempted a grand total of 51 threes over the course of 2 college seasons, and of those 51 total threes, he made 12 of them. Fast forward to this year's preseason, and over the course of 5 preseason games, he attempted 30 total threes, making 13 of them. And through 4 regular season NBA games so far, he's attempted 16 total threes and made 7 of them. Now, if you're keeping up, that's a college three-point percentage of 24%, and now in the NBA, across his preseason and regular season games, he's shooting 43.5%. He made more threes in 5 preseason games than he did in 2 years of college. If his current rate of three-point attempts continues, he's on pace to attempt more than 300 three-pointers this season. But this is not a guy who was drafted for his potential as a shooter. In fact, the biggest criticism of Dunn prior to the draft was the fact that he lacked NBA caliber offensive skill. However, his defensive tools and unreal athleticism was tantalizing enough that he was consistently projected as a first-round pick, in spite of the concerns about whether or not his shooting touch would ever be up to snuff. His 2.3 blocks per game during his sophomore college season ranked 16th most in the nation. He's an elite athlete, he had elite defensive potential, but all signs pointed to him being almost an exclusively around the rim scorer with limited pathways towards impacting the offensive side of the ball at an NBA level. The Phoenix Suns got way more than they bargained for when they traded for him on draft night, getting a guy that not only has all of the defensive capabilities that I mentioned, but apparently he can shoot threes now. And he hasn't just been a neutral presence on the offensive end either. He's actively making the Suns better when he's on the floor. Now, I just want to go ahead and cover my bases before we start getting into some of the numbers. These sample sizes are very small. Let's just go ahead and acknowledge that. If you're typing a comment about numbers saying, well, it's a small sample size, these are going to change, I understand that. Put whatever value that you personally want into them. And understand that it's important to check out the numbers with the eye test. Don't just go solely based off the numbers. Through 4 games so far, at the time of this recording, the Suns are clocking an offensive rating of 121.7 points per 100 possessions with Dunn on the floor, but that number falls to an abysmal 107.7 when he leaves the floor. But it's not like he's one of their main offensive pieces, so what has he been doing to have such a major impact on their offensive success? They've been using him as a screener pretty consistently in the half court, and he seems to be integrating into the system very, very well. 𝙖𝙗 and Nurkic are running this side pick and roll, and meanwhile, Dunn is going to be setting this flare screen for Kevin Durant. This is a decoy action though, because Klay is going to follow Durant off the flare, leaving 2 defenders in the corner, and Nurkic is going to run this handoff for Dunn, and with Lively not playing him out to the 3-point line, it's going to give Dunn a chance to cash in. Durant, Booker, and Beal are obviously going to command a ton of defensive attention, and so it's really important to surround them with good release valves, and that's exactly what Dunn has been. The Suns only have Beal as the main guy on the floor here, and with the defense in a 2-3 zone, Beal is going to split the defense, force the zone to collapse, and he sprays it out to Dunn waiting for the wide open 3. The Lakers had D'Angelo Russell provide heavy nail help when Beal and Plumlee run the pick and roll, but having Dunn 1 pass away makes this an easy shot if he's able to consistently convert it. The really important thing for Dunn is the fact that his shot never looked particularly broken. He has confidence as a shooter, something that's also extremely important for developing a 3-point shot. If you're not taking the threes, then you're never going to start making them. His release is quick, which is another extremely important factor in shooting success. It's one thing to be able to make the threes at a decent rate, but being able to shoot them fast means that you're able to punish defenses for not staying glued to you at the 3-point line. Once defenses start having to stay glued to you at the 3-point line, it opens up more space for your team to work with. And the Suns are going to get all the benefits of him as a 6'6" wing with unbelievable athleticism on top of it all. So this 3-point shooting, if it is sustainable, is going to be the cherry on top for adding the perfect wing alongside their 3-headed monster of Beal, Durant, and Booker. But the main draw with Ryan Dunn was his defense, the fact that he projects to be an elite defender. And oh my goodness, his defense has been amazing so far. But before we get into that, a quick word from today's sponsor. I've been trying to find the best deal on tickets for when the Thunder play the Grizzlies in March, and that's why I'm really excited to thank the sponsor of today's video, SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. I've used SeatGeek multiple times over the years to go see the Minnesota Vikings, and I just bought tickets to see my first Thunder game in March using SeatGeek. The football season is well underway, the NBA is finally back, and SeatGeek puts all the tickets from across the internet into one place so that you can be sure that you're getting a good deal. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so look for the green dots to find the best deal possible and avoid the red ones. And you know I came through for you guys. Use code AlexHoops for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase with promo code AlexHoops. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app. Thanks again to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to it. He's had to deal with the task of defending LeBron James, which is a pretty tall task for a rookie, but he does a really good job handling this screen by Christie, and he makes a perfect flip of the hips to stay in stride with LeBron, forcing him to pass to Connect on the wing, showing enough on Connect to deter the shot, and then he immediately gets back to LeBron to make sure that he's not able to get anything out of the post-up. He's hounding LeBron on this inbounds play where they have LeBron come off of this zoom action, but Dunn is going to navigate the screen well, making himself wide to deter LeBron from driving. LA tries to use the D-Lo screen to get the switch, but Jones hedges and recovers, allowing Dunn to stay with LeBron. With 5 seconds left on the clock, they try to make something happen with this dead corner handoff, and even though he gets clipped on the screen, he's going to stay with the play and ready to disrupt any pocket pass to Hayes. This was his standout defensive possession of their matchup against the Lakers, making himself as small as possible to fit through this tight space between LeBron and the screen, and still making sure not to get burned when LeBron tries to change directions. Since he doesn't allow LeBron to get by him going right, LeBron is forced to spin, allowing Booker to poke the ball away with the nail help, and the Lakers end up with a shot clock violation. And LeBron is far from the only star player that Dunn has had to deal with. He had some really great defensive possessions on Luka, and even though there's only so much that you can actually do against a player like Luka, Dunn was definitely making things as difficult as he possibly could for him. He did still get caught a little bit making quote-unquote rookie mistakes here and there, being a little bit too overzealous trailing Luka off of this Gafford screen and getting baited into the shooting foul, but he did a really good job when he was forced to deal with Luka's otherworldly shot creation in the mid-range. Not only does he have the mobility and agility to guard out on the perimeter, but he's also got the physical tools to operate as a help defender on the interior due to that 7'1" wingspan that he's got. Beal is on LeBron, which is a little bit of a mismatch, so Dunn has to be available to help if LeBron gets by him. Now, this does leave Hayes open in the middle of the paint, but Dunn makes the quick recovery to get there and disrupt him, forcing the ball loose, leading to the turnover. The Lakers set up this side pick and roll, with D'Lo slipping it to LeBron on the short roll, giving LeBron a head of steam going downhill, but Dunn's going to be there waiting for him to get a finger on the ball when LeBron goes up for the finish. The Mavericks run this curl action for Luka, and he gets hung up on the Gafford screen and stuck behind the play, but he tracks the lob heading to Gafford at the rim, and even though he does get called for the foul, the fact that he was even able to get there in the first place and disrupt it at all is a testament to his defensive capabilities. This rim protection ability is something that I think is going to be a big part of what makes him such a dangerous defender, both when guarding in space and when operating as more of an interior anchor. They're putting a lot of responsibility on a rookie wing to handle major defensive assignments, and he hasn't disappointed. Like I mentioned earlier, he was one of the best shot blockers in college basketball, and all of this defensive talent is going to be huge for the Suns. And this is where things get really interesting for Ryan Dunn, because for a lot of rookies, they have to go through a significant amount of development before they're really capable of holding their own in a playoff setting. But with how Dunn has been playing to start the season, with how good his defense already is, and if his three-point shot continues to fall, then this is the exact type of guy that you want on the floor next to your stars in the playoffs. Really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. It really helps the channel out a ton and allows me to continue making videos like this. Regardless, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.